Asset and Portfolio Manager.
Real estate assets and what? I missed that
and
last.
Real Estate Asset and Portfolio Manager.
Okay.
It's a comprehensive lease administration tool. It's got extensive retail functionality, accounting, and CAM reconciliation features also built into the system. In today's demo, we are going to be primarily looking at functionality in the lease summary screen, features available in the dashboard, accounting features, percentage rent, and reporting capabilities. So that's going to be the focus on today's demo.
Just one question. What is your back-end platform?
It's SQL Server is the database, and it's built primarily on Microsoft technologies using .NET and web services.
Okay.
And it's obviously a web application available on the SaaS model. It can be implemented on the SaaS model, or it can be inside a client's network. Either way, it can be an enterprise or SaaS model, both ways. Okay. So that said, I'm going to log into the application.
Well, hold on 1 minute. Somebody just rang my doorbell. I'll be right back. Yep. We got dogs.
So the first screen you see on login and REAP is what we call the portfolio distribution. The structure in REAP is basically you have a property at the top, and then you tie leases to the property. Okay, and your leases can be both expense, income, or subleases. And you can group your locations or properties based on various values, like, for example, region, division, brands, or it can be any user-defined value. All of these are driven from a pick list. So, for example, if I choose region and click on Show Details, it's going to show all the leases which are in various regions. So you can see APAC, Latin America, North America. So I click on North America, then the screen refreshes with locations out in North America. But not only does it show leases within this region, it also shows the other parameters that are available, like brands and divisions, also like a cross-tab report. So, for example, within a particular region, if you want to narrow down to a specific division or brand, we can still do that. So I can pull up, like, for example, division, and then say I want to just look at retail outlets within North America region. So I can quickly drill down. And then you basically select a lease and drive into the main application. So this takes you to what we call the lease summary screen. The lease summary screen gives you a full view of all data that has been abstracted for the selected lease. So you have this data presented in different sections, like the property information, where you have basic property details like the name of the property, the location of the property, what is the ownership status, is this a leased property or a owned property, and so on. And you can actually drill down to get more details. So wherever you see hyperlink, so I click on this link, it shows me the actual property screen where you can obviously capture a lot more data. So I'm going to go back to the lease summary. So like I said,
could you click on ownership type there?
Oh, okay. You want to go back to the home screen? Okay.
I'm going to ask. I may throw out questions just to see some drop downs as we go.
Okay. So I'm going to click on edit. So yeah, like ground lease, manage, other, own, and
owned was what my question was. Okay, that answers. I may ask you to open some drop downs as we go, just so I can see what's there.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Okay, you can continue, please.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back to the lease summary. So you have the property section. The property groupings is the way you kind of group your locations using different tags. So you can have your own set of tags like brands, division, region, or any other values. That's more for quick searching capabilities and for portfolio analysis.
Okay.
Then lease information, what type of lease is it, what are your commencement, expiration dates, and so on. Those are presented out here. And any category and type fields that you see in REAP, all of those are drop-down fields where the values are getting pulled from a pick list. So you have a capability to go put your own user-defined values there. Security deposit section shows what type of security deposit you have in the lease. It can be a cash deposit or a bank guarantee and so on. What is the amount? when is the execution date, when it's possible going to be returned or expiration date, all of those data can be captured. Contact.
Do you have function for partial security return critical date entries?
Yeah, there's a critical date section where you can capture any type of critical dates there and get alerted upon. So that's
so. For example, in the other systems I work in, you can have a partial return after certain amount of time.
Right.
Where you capture a critical date and it'll come up in a critical date screen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
The contacts, all contacts related to the lease can be captured here. So if I quickly go to the contact screen, I'm going to click Edit. Contacts in REAP is basically a central repository of all vendor and contact information. And for each lease, you can either link to the central repository or add a new contact right on the screen. So that way, if you have a landlord who's also the landlord in other locations, you don't need to enter it multiple times. You just link to the existing contact. Yeah. So that feature is available. So going back to the lease summary screen, so you have security deposit, contacts, payments. So all payments that you need to make as part of your lease, those can be captured. I'm going to quickly go to the detailed expense section screen so you can see the length and breadth of data that we can capture. So this is the expenses screen where you can capture all your expenses, be it base rent or one-time payments or operating expenses and so on. And the frequencies can be monthly frequency, quarterly, semi-annually, Scottish or English quarters, or one-time payments. Pro rata method, in case there's a partial lease term, you can define what should be the pro rata and that should be applied. How long you're going to be making the payments. The charge type field actually helps you if you're going to be making any tax payments as part of your base rent. Typically in Florida and Arizona, where you have a sales tax or Canadian properties. So these can be centrally defined in the settings screen, and the sales tax can be associated with whatever payment types that you want to link to different leases. So that way,
is it a dollar entry, or do you have a sales tax grouping where you can put percentages in and it will auto-calculate?
It's basically a percentage you put in, and then it calculates based on the base rent amount. So let's say
good.
5%.
So you can go either way. So you can either it can auto-calculate or you can override with a dollar amount.
Exactly.
Or wherever, whatever the currency is.
Right. So the top section gives you basic details about the payment that you want to set up. The screen section, you can capture all the rent increases down the line. So, and if increases down the line, if there's any CPI increase that you need to mark those streams, you can mark those streams also with CPI increases. Payee section, you can have more than one payee also associated with the payment. So let's say you're making 60% of the payment to one landlord and 40% needs to go to another landlord. Those capabilities are available in the tool. And the payment additional info is where you set up your GL code if you're going to do payment processing within REAP and you're going to integrate with the accounting system. You can bring in those GL codes and set up those things also out here. So the expense section related to what you want to capture for all your payments is very comprehensive. And then once this has been set up, it automatically ties into your accounting, which we'll talk about it in a short while.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back to the lease summary. So we looked at area, we looked at the payment section. Obviously, right from your lease summary, also you can drill down and get some basic details even before going to the detailed payment screens. So that feature is available. Options, all related options in your lease, be it renewal or cancellation or right of first offer, those things can be captured with the detailed dates. Notice start date, end dates, and option start dates and end dates, whether it's been exercised or not, and so on. Area information, again here you can capture multiple area records, be it your site area or a rentable area, which can be classified into maybe office area and storage area. And any contraction or expansion that has happened during the lease term, those can be captured with effective dates. So that way, during the lease beginning, you had only occupied 5,000 square feet of area, and then 2 years down into the lease, you expanded and took on extra space. you can capture that chronologically also in the area section.
Okay.
Clauses section, you can capture all clauses that are available in your lease abstract and bring it into the system. Not only can you capture the clauses data, you can associate basically link documents and bookmark these documents. So for example, let's say you're looking at audit rights, you would have captured only the synopsis of the actual lease language within REAP. But then I can click on this hyperlink, and what this does is it basically opens the attached PDF, and it will take you to the exact section. So if there's like a 35-page document, it takes you directly to the audit rights section.
Yeah.
So that way it gives you the flexibility of looking at your actual lease language also right from within REAP.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What is your document size limit that's attached to a given record?
The maximum that we have seen is like, to answer that, there's actually really no limit that we really emphasize on associating with a particular lease. So depending on if there's going to be a size limit, there's a configuration that we can do to allow you to attach bigger size documents.
No, one of the reasons I ask because HarborFlex particularly has a limit of 6 meg, and I prefer to OCR everything, and when you start OCR in large leases, you've got to break it into pieces in their system. Okay.
Right, yeah. So you don't have that
but
problem.
Bookmarking and OCRing, which I like to do, that's an obstacle I have on HarborFlex.
HarborFlex, yes. That typically you need to split your documents and put it as 2 separate documents in HarborFlex.
Yeah, no, and I have to compress everything down before I upload them.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's all in the classes section, and then if you scroll down, key dates. So this is what I said. You can capture any type of dates in the key dates section. When it comes to dates, there are 2 types of dates available in REAP. One is system-defined dates, which are your expiration, commencement, and option dates and all that, on which you can get alerts. In addition, you can have your own ad hoc dates, which might be a CAM audit, or like you said, a security deposit partial return on a specific date. Those can be captured. You can put your own category and type values.
So in other words, a user can add a drop-down value?
Exactly.
Okay.
So for example, let me go to the settings and show you the pick list screen. So here if I go, like right from any of the drop-down values, like for example, payment types, you can call it base rent, and this is the category drop-down value, and this is the type drop-down value, right? So you can come up with your own values, and even if the data has been abstracted and you think, oh, I need to change it, then you just come to the pick list and change it. Instead of calling it base rent, you want to call it minimum rent, or you want to call it a different term, then all abstracted linked data gets automatically changed. So you're not kind of stuck with.
So, for example, I could relabel free rent as abatement or whatever, or apply it to any category I want.
Exactly. Yeah.
Looks good.
So that's the flexibility you have with REAP. All category and type are driven from a pick list. So in addition to the key dates, we also have a responsibility section, which is those similar to clauses, but it gives you a quick drill down of who's going to be responsible for what. And the structure of the responsibility section is in such a way that lends it well to kind of capture any type of data. Like, for example, you might say maintenance roof, repairs and maintenance, tenant is going to be responsible. If it's going to be replacement, landlord is going to be responsible. But then you can also put CAM operating and service charges, whether it's included in additional rent or it's an additional charge or something. So that way, if you come to this section, you quickly get to know, okay, what is the responsibility of the landlord in this lease, or what is the responsibility of the tenant in this particular lease? Those data can be very crisply captured out here. Attributes are very similar to the property groupings. The property groupings is you tag at the property level, the attributes you tag at the lease level. So if you want to have any specific lease-related data that you want to capture, be it status, or you want to say is CAM reconciliation required, yes or no, it's basically a category and type values. So it's like you can capture any type of data that you want to tag to a lease. And then all the documents. So basically all documents that you have in the lease are available in this particular section. So that kind of shows you, if you see this menu, that kind of shows you the length and breadth of the lease summary screen, right? From property information right down to the documents level, the amount of data that you can capture. And also for navigation, there's a lot of slick features available. On the left panel, if you see, if you want to quickly navigate to another lease, you can look at any of the last viewed locations. I click on that and the screen gets refreshed. Or I can do a quick search. I click on quick search, and then I can type in, let's say I'm going to type in the word ARCI, and just do a search. You can look for in any of these fields and then do a quick search. So what this will do is it will go pull up all locations where there's the word ARCI. So if I want to kind of refine my search and say, okay, I just want to look at where the landlord name is ARCI. So I'm going to uncheck this, and I can quickly get down to, there are 2 locations where ARCI Limited is the landlord. So I can then click from here, right here, and then get to that location. So there's quick search capabilities. There's full search where there's a lot more parameters available where you can search using these parameters. And you can also save these searches, which we call as name filters. So that way you can reuse them not only for your navigation, but also in your payment processing or reporting. Whatever filters you saved can be reapplied there. So that's one way of doing it. And also in this section out here, all those name filters, so you have like 240 leases that are there. If you had a name filter, I can go to property search and then say, okay, storage locations. I pull that one. Then it quickly filters it to 4 locations. So I can kind of circle through these properties using this navigation buttons, previous and next. So that way, if you want to quickly review only certain sections for a certain type of properties in a particular region or in a particular criteria that you're looking for, there are multiple ways for you to narrow down and get to that location quickly. So any questions so far on the lease summary screen that you saw?
No, I'd like to actually look at your percentage rent module.
Okay, great. I'm going to go to dashboard, which is our next this thing, and then we'll go into...
whatever the proper sequence is fine.
Yeah, okay. So we looked at lease summary. So next I want to quickly show you our dashboard features. So I'm going to click on dashboard, and it's going to take me to this screen. The dashboard is made up of a set of components which can be switched on or off for different users so that security can be set if they do not want to see certain components. So for example, the lease metrics shows you what is the total number of the leases you're managing, how many expense leases, how many income leases, how much is active, inactive, any leases that are expired in the previous month, any month-to-month leases. Those are all quickly shows up on the dashboard so that you don't even need to run any reports to figure out what are my month-to-month leases and all that. Expiration details, similarly, those also comes up in the next 3 months and 6 months, 12 months buckets. How many leases are expiring? I can quickly click on this and see what are those 18 leases which are expiring. If I choose this option button, it shows me if there's any related renewal options available, what are all the payments that I'm making on this particular lease. So that way you get to know my lease is expiring in the next 3 months. Okay, I do have an option to renew and so on. So
do you have, can you change that time range grouping?
Oh, yeah.
You know, 3 months, 6 months, whatever,
Yeah.
Okay.
That's typically done through during implementation. If a client wants it in a different
No, I'll ask, what may be superfluous questions, but I just,
right.
When I analyze, that's what I do.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, those can be done. And again, if you see in the alert section, this is where all your alerts show up. So any overdue alerts show up in red and current alerts show up in normal color. I can actually drill down. Whenever an alert comes in, I can also maintain detailed notes related to that alert. Let's say a renewal option alert comes in, right? So when I'm looking at that alert, I can actually also capture notes related to that alert. So, okay, there's a meeting scheduled with the property manager or whatever you're following up to kind of resolve that alert, those can be maintained within the system also. So that way, you don't keep a paper trail of what you've been doing related to the alerts that has come up.
As far as the rights for those alerts, can they be public or private in the system, or are they all with every record?
The alerts is basically, it can be configured in such a way you can define to whom these alerts needs to go, how early these
Okay,
alerts
no, I mean, I've seen, we have systems where, particularly from a brokerage standpoint, where they want it private, but they don't want it visible to other users, where they keep their own, note and follow-up trail, but, want it confidential.
Absolutely, yeah. So that can be.
Okay, I'm just, I'm asking all the detailed questions that I run into.
Absolutely, no problem. Yeah. So you also have the lease projection component right on the dashboard. These are normally long-running reports in other systems, but in REAP, these are already pre-populated in the background. So if you click this report for base rent, you get to know what are all the payment obligations for the next 5 years. So you can generate the report right from the dashboard. Those features are available. If you drill down, there's monthly expenditure analysis, aging analysis. So if you have income leases, you can also track invoices and payments that are coming in, so you can get to know the aging of your receivables, 0 to 30 days, 31 to 60 days, and so on, and get to know what invoices are pending. So those can be maintained in the system. Okay. Going back to the dashboard. So that's just a quick rundown of our dashboard capabilities. So the next thing I want to show you is the accounting capabilities in the system. So for that, I'm going to kind of switch to a PowerPoint and then come back to the application.
Okay.
So in accounting, basically all payments that you're configured for your various leases can be processed in the system. Even before you process any of your payments for a given month, you can review changes that are going to happen for the next month. So there are reports available where you can run reports to see what is going to be my cost increases for let's say you're running the batch for February of 2014. You get to know what's your current rent and what is the next rent amount, what is the changes. So that way for you to kind of quickly verify all the new increases that are coming in. Once you process the batch, you can review the output, you can review any errors, you can review variance. So the typical errors that you might see are the payment has exceeded the cap amount, or you put a temporary hold on a payment and you forgot to remove it, so the system will warn you. Or if you mark the string for a CPI increase and you did not give that increase, so that also will be an error message that will show up on your payment processing screen. Variance report will help you to quickly compare your current batch to the prior batch to see any amount variance, any additional payments that has come in this new batch, any missing payments compared to your prior batch. So that way you have enough checks and balances to ensure the batch that you have processed for the current month is all the correct payments that needs to go out to your landlord. Once you processed it, if everything is fine, you reviewed it, you can commit it and take it to the journal. From the journal, you can basically integrate it with your accounts payable system. Because REAP is really not a full-blown accounting system. It's a lease administration tool, but it's got accounting capabilities to generate all your check requests. But the actual,
you can create a flat file that'll feed into an accounting system.
Exactly. So if your accounting system is Oracle,
whatever the
right.
It probably sends a common delimited file of one sort or another.
Exactly. So that's the capability. You can also receive a file back from your accounts payable in case you want to capture all the check details that has been sent for that particular payment request you have sent. So that way, in the REAP journal, you have a repository of the payment request that was sent out and what was the actual check and what date it was sent to the landlord can be maintained within REAP.
Okay.
So if you look at the accounting module, so these are all the different screens. We have batch payables to process all your batch pay expenses, receivables similarly for all your income leases, one-off payments if you need to make manual payables and manual receivables, percent rent, which you'll see in the next this thing.
Do you have? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, and then I'll come back to my question.
Yeah, the journal for a repository of all your payments, historical payments that are there, so you to quickly review. Yeah, you can go ahead with your question.
No, I guess my question is if a client has a large volume of non-recurring expenses, is there like a easy entry screen without drilling into a record? In other words, can you populate with like a lease ID and a expense?
Yeah, you can do that in the manual payable screen. So you can quickly key in a property ID and then add all the rents or payments that you need to make in the screen.
Yeah, I'm thinking, particularly where it's a large portfolio with, a lot of consumable, non-recurring, monthly invoices.
Yes.
And I don't come across that highly often, but, have been there, so.
Yeah, that's available in this module also. So that's where you'll use your manual payables and manual.
Well, can I see the batch payable? Is there anything there to look at?
Yeah. So this is the journal. So this journal of all payments that is processed. So you could look at
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Okay.
The journal, the amount, start date, and end date.
Yeah. Okay. That's exactly what I was referring to. Okay.
And obviously, you can use the filter to kind of filter and look at any historical data of a particular landlord's data or a particular set of leases data and so on.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's some of the accounting capabilities. So now we'll move on to percentage rent. So for that, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. So in percentage rent, we have various settings available in REAP for you to calculate percentage rent. Like for example, you can have an annualized method of calculating a percentage rent where your sales value is cumulated from a rent year began against an annual threshold. Or it can be a cumulative way of calculating a percentage rent where your sales is cumulated for the term and then your breakpoint or your threshold is also cumulated for the term to determine if you need to make percentage rent.
Or you can override your breakpoint so it's not necessarily a natural breakpoint on a price per foot rent. Okay.
Yeah. Or also it can be on a periodic basis where the current terms sales and current terms threshold is compared. So there are multiple ways. The common case scenarios that we see are, like for example, they would say the base rent is $350,000, percentage rent should be 8.5% of the total income, but total income should include only furniture sales, food sales, sundry income. So you can define what should be the sales types that should be part of your percentage rent.
Yeah.
Similarly, you can have different tiers available. So if it's gross sales less than 13 million, you pay 6% as your percentage rent. If it's between 13 to 18 million, then you pay.
All the other, percentage rent.
Exactly.
I've been through many of those. Okay.
Right. So all the typical scenarios that you see in the marketplace, we are able to accommodate in our percentage rent. So basically the frequency being different frequencies, quarterly, semi-annually, those are available. You can define different breakpoints and set up different sales types to have different percentage rents also. Typically in your restaurant, your food sales might have a different percentage rent compared to your beverages. So those things can be set up. And also any employee sales that needs to be not part of the percentage rent, those can be set up. Or any adjustments that you need to do as part of your percentage rent, those can be set up also. So let me show you the percentage rent on screen. So when you run a percentage rent for a particular batch, this is what you get to look at. You'll get to look at what is the start date and end date, what is the total amount that's calculated. The breakup is given here. What is the breakpoint group? What is the total sales? $75,000 is the total sales. Of which the breakdown is given of the different sales types. And here it shows you the calculation. So 0 to 50,000, 50,000 is applied, and 2,000 is the flat amount. Anything greater than 50,000, you're going to apply a 10% rate. So you can have a combination of a flat amount and also a percentage that needs to go in as part of your percentage rate calculations. So
now, can a client feed you a sales report which you can import in to do this automatically, or is it all by entry?
So this is the percentage rate module. So you have your sales history screen where all your sales data can be brought in through a flat file, or you have a capability to enter the data also. So obviously the first step is you bring in your sales data from your point of sale system, and then based on your configuration, and your breakpoint setup and all that, the percentage rent gets calculated.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's comprehensive calculation features available in percentage rent. Like I said, I'm going to edit here and show you. So if you look at the year-to-date options, this is where I was telling you it can be an annualized calculation or a cumulative, or it can just be in a periodic basis. So extensive retail capabilities is available. Any specific questions on percentage rent that you normally see in other systems?
No, you're covering everything.
Right. Okay.
Well, I would like to get access to a demo and just follow the flow, of the entry on my own.
Okay, great.
Because
so other than, yeah, go ahead.
The last competitive system I've used for percentage rent, which was very slow, very difficult, was Accruent's Cytera.
Right. Okay.
And then I have another component, I want to bring into this based on what we talked about on the phone the other day.
Okay.
No, it's very, very good.
Okay. So that's on the percentage rent. So I'll quickly cover some of the reporting capabilities. So we have obviously a set of canned reports available in the system.
Yeah,
so
no, I mean that's easy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so these straightforward reports. In addition, we also have the query builder for you to build your own reports. So you can choose.
Yeah.
So those features are also available. So query builder for you to create your reports and then save those reports, set security on those reports so that only you can see those reports or a group of users sees those reports. You can do that also.
Yeah, no, I mean it's, in terms of what I'm seeing here, it's as good and as powerful, as anything I'm using, or possibly even better depending on, the linkage of how you go from one screen to the next.
Great.
No, I have a business partner that I've been involved with for close to 20 years. Do you know Joe Posavec by chance?
Maybe Sri might be knowing that. Rick, do you know by him any chance? Maybe Rick is still on mute.
In any event, no. He and I have worked together, and we work together on projects. What?
Go ahead, George.
So anyway, and he has worked on this stuff, and he is more back-end savvy than I am, and he has actually gone from more of a portfolio focus to he's doing a lot of loan due diligence and asset management, which could also possibly be brought into the system. He's local for you. He lives in Lake Forest.
Oh, okay.
And he is now working on a project for CB in Toronto. But, I think he could add value to all of this. I can do it, but also based on our schedules, even in terms of the webinars, I'd like to be able to work together. And I mean, he's like my brother. I trust him more than anybody else in the world. So,
okay.
And he's in Toronto right now on a project, but he's back in Orange County, I guess, every other week. So possibly next week, I would like to do a very quick run through and show this to him and bring him, into this with me. And he can add, actually, I think, as much and a lot more value than I can. He has a stronger network than I have of prospective clients for you.
Oh, okay. Well, I think, Rick, you can also add to what I'm saying. I think initially what we are trying to look at is to kind of prepare a demo, a voiceover demo that someone can give based on what I've shown already. So it's basically to come up with a demo script and a demo recording of how we want to show this product to, obviously, to all our potential customers.
Yeah, no, he has built a lot of these things on his own, for due diligence and for portfolio with me. We've done a couple of other things where he's done, developed, SQL backends. But I think he could add a lot of insight and value to this in terms of other things he's working on. and I would like to do. Actually, he and I go back 20 years. He was the guy that did the original data center in Manila for Accruent about 15 years ago with double-blind entry. So he knows your business. He knows your business, and he's doing primarily banking and loan due diligence right now, even more than portfolio. That's where I'm more portfolio. But he's very knowledgeable, and I would like to bring him into this. And if we could do a very quick run-through again of this early next week, and it'll be quick. I mean, he's built stuff, exactly like this. So would you have any objection to that?
No, not at all. And we'd like to, if you can, send out an email with his name in it. My bet is if he was at Accruent in the Manila thing, that Sri probably knows him or has heard of him.
Yeah, well, he knows all the Accruent people, and he's kept in touch with all of the IT people that, were with him in Accruent to go back, to the late 90s.
Right.
And he and I go back and have been working together, on projects together since 1995.
Right. So go ahead and send out an email, copy Sri and myself on it, just introducing him, and so that we can get in touch with him. And hopefully arrange something. We'll definitely set up something next week as soon as you can get a time that's good for him.
Like Sri, I mean, remember, I think you did Cox for us about 4 or 5 years ago. Did you do Cox for us?
Did what?
Cox Communications.
I don't know. Sri is not there.
We shared the project management transition on Cox when we did that, that crazy pro lease about 5 years ago. But no, I would like to bring him into this and like him to see it. And then particularly as far as the webinars, he and I could, switch off and do them. And particularly with based on your timing, with my month in Europe, if I have any scheduling issues, he could, we could, either one of us could do them, and he's actually the better salesperson than I am. But no, I think he'll get along well, and he's local for you, when he gets back there. He just left Monday for 2 weeks in Toronto, but he'll be back. He'll probably be back within 2 weeks.
That's good.
So I would like to. Could you give me a demo link?
Yeah, he'll give you a link and a username and password. So.
Okay. Do you need any confidentiality agreements from me?
I'll send across an NDA just so we've got it in place.
I just like to do. I mean, I like everybody to be happy. I mean, I'm protective of anybody I'm working with, and I'm working with various people, so I like, I just like to have them.
Sure. So I'll send you across an NDA. In the meantime, Rada can send you a username and password with a link to the demo site. So you can go and play around with it. I guess our only request is don't update any of the data.
No, I'm not going to change your data. I just wanted to look at your drop downs and just no, I won't edit anything. I just want to be able to look at the drop downs and see the flow, how one link goes to the next.
Yeah.
Sure. And I'll do that. I'll start doing that. This week, and then then we'll have our next call. But I can probably. He's on a busy project, but let me see what his schedule is for a call, and I'll send you out an email sometime later today.
Okay.
No, I think it's very good, and I like it. I like it very much.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
I got to get my hands dirty.
Yep. Well, we'll let you do that. Okay, so I'll get the NDA, and then in the next couple of weeks, if your friend is available, we can get together.
Yeah. No, I'll give him a call now and see what's good for him. I mean, actually, even next week, I can, depending on his schedule, he may need to do it in the evening Eastern time, which is fine with me, and I'm sure is fine with you. So, okay. So,
all right.
Anyway, No, thank you very much. I'm very interested. And let me talk to him, and then we'll schedule another quick one, and then we'll talk about next steps.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.